Hello. Okay, we're back doing depreciation expense. So in the last video we covered straight line depreciation. Now we're up to a new method of depreciation called double declining balance depreciation. Now the first thing you want to do is an initial setup for a double declining balance. So just write beginning book value times the rate equals annual depreciation. That's a kind of like an initial setup we need to do. Beginning book value times the rate equals annual depreciation. Now the rate is going to equal double the straight line rate. So remember our example we did, we had a 5-year life, so we were booking 1/5 per year, right? Which equals 20%. If I want double the straight line rate, I multiply it by 2, and that gives me 40%. All right, so that's going to be my double declining balance rate. All right, so we can immediately just put in our table over here the 40%. All right, and then the other thing we need to talk about is book value. So when we did our classified balance sheet before, remember we talked about fixed assets, our BP&E, we had gross fixed assets, less accumulated depreciation gave us a net book value. The same thing here, book value is just going to be our cost less accumulated depreciation. All right. So let's just proceed with our example. So we purchased $10,000 cost of equipment. So we have $10,000 cost. It's our first year, so there's no accumulated depreciation yet. So we're going to multiply that by the rate, which is 40%. That's going to give us $4,000. All right, so our first year depreciation, we booked $4,000. Debit depreciation expense, credit accumulated depreciation for $4,000. The second year, we have a cost still of $10,000. We subtract out our year one depreciation that we booked already of $4,000, gives us a net book value of $6,000, right? 10 minus 4 is 6, times the 40%, and that's going to give us $2,400. So that would be the second year depreciation. Let's do the third year now. Again, we have our cost of $10,000. We subtract out our first year depreciation of 4. We subtract out our second year depreciation of 24. That's all our accumulated depreciation, right? It was going to give us a net book value of $3,600 times the 40% rate, and that's going to equal $1,440. And that would be the third year depreciation. And we just continue in that manner. So I made a note here. Continue until the book value equals the salvage value. So in our example, the salvage value was $1,000. So you would continue to depreciate it until you get up to $1,000. And you would do it in this fashion. And this is called double declining balance. There's another method of depreciation I want to cover today as well, and that's called units of production. Now I know I'm going a little fast, but you can just watch this video over and over again and read the book, and it should actually be very clear. All right, so the next method is called units of production. And we have another formula we need to know, which is depreciation per unit. And that's going to equal the cost minus the salvage value divided by the estimated total units. Now these units could be physical units, or they could be units of activity like machine hours. So an example that we're going to do in a minute is actually going to be machine hours. That's what we prefer to do it. All right, so we have depreciation per unit, cost minus salvage value over estimated total units. And then once we know that, then we can actually calculate depreciation expense, which is going to be depreciation per unit times the units produced. All right, so we have two formulas, depreciation per unit, which is cost minus salvage over estimated total of the units. And we have another formula for the actual depreciation expense, which is going to be depreciation per unit, which we just calculated here, times the units produced. So let's look at an example, because actually this is not hard. In our example, we have a machine that costs $10,000. The salvage value is $1,000. So we have a cost of $10,000. We have a salvage value of $1,000. And the estimated total usage is 4,500 hours. All right, the first thing we need to do is depreciation per unit. So we have depreciation per unit. And what does that equal? Cost minus salvage. So we said the cost is 10,000. We said our salvage is 1,000. So 10,000 minus 1,000. And what do we divide that by? Estimated total units. So over here we're saying our estimated total usage is 4,500 hours. So we're going to divide that by 4,500. And that is going to give us, I believe, $2 per hour, okay, per machine hour. All right, so now we know our depreciation per unit, which is $2 per hour. So let's assume in our example that in the first year, the machine is used for 1,000 hours. What's that depreciation expense going to be? Simple. First year depreciation, they tell us we use it for 1,000 hours. What do we calculate our depreciation per unit to be? $2 per hour. So it's 1,000 hours times $2 per hour equals, lo and behold, $2,000. So that will be our depreciation in the first year. So every year we're going to look at our actual hours that we're spending times our depreciation per unit, which in this case is $2 per hour. All right, so that's so now we actually covered 3 methods of depreciation: straight line, double declining balance, and units of production. In our next video, we're going to talk about disposal of fixed assets. Thank you.